From part 1 of our ConOps, we learned about the different transport elements, their sequence, and the hazardous conditions our payload cube will face on its journey before spaceflight. Now we will learn about the launch and spaceflight conditions in ConOps Part 2, the spaceflight. After all that, you're probably thinking, hey, what about the boat? You said there was a boat. Alas, there's more to this ConOps story for your little cube. So what are we leaving out of the picture? Oh yeah, the whole spaceflight thing. Now we'll take a look at the second part of our ConOps. Remember that we are on the eastern shore of Virginia, and that is where NASA Wallops Flight Facility is located. Our rocket will launch from a barrier island and will have a parabolic or arced suborbital path. It will experience 20 Gs of force during launch, but more about that later. A suborbital path means it does not orbit the Earth. The rocket spends about 2 minutes racing through all of the Earth's atmospheric layers. With such high velocity, that's a lot of friction. Therefore, that's a lot of heat. And remember, our cubes are in the nose cone of that rocket. It's awesome to be on the leading edge of spaceflight, but what effect do you think that's going to have on your experiment? Once the rocket reaches the top of the parabola, it experiences microgravity for about 2 to 3 minutes. For the sake of accuracy, you should know that the rocket loses both of its motors prior to reaching space. But that just looks silly on the diagram, so we took some artistic license. Then a boat makes its way towards the rocket to retrieve it, bring it back to NASA Wallops Flight Facility, where it will be deintegrated. That means the rocket is pulled apart and the payloads are retrieved. And then they lived happily ever after. The end. Just kidding, there's more. Here's a simple diagram of the ConOps from launch. It looks complex, but know that the boat's path is a cycle. It goes, it retrieves, it returns the rocket. This is still a sequence. And the rocket also follows the same type of cycle and sequence. It launches from NASA Wallops, it goes into space, it falls to the Earth, and it returns to NASA Wallops. And that is your second ConOps.